Hi, in my last video, I spoke about the reasons why you would want to play with side spin and pool, because it's quite a barrier for a number of players. They'll get to a certain level and they know that playing with side spin will be of benefit to them, but suddenly when you start playing with it, you start missing balls that you would normally never ever miss. And so a lot of people, for this reason, never go further with it. So in this video, I'm actually going to give you some practice routines that I wish I knew 25 years ago when I learned it. And we'll focus on a few different things. So first of all, we'll focus on where to aim with side spin. And then we'll add in a couple of variations because how hard you hit the ball and the distance you are from the object ball will make a difference to this. Now, the big thing with side spin is everyone knows when you hit the cue ball with side spin, it's going to deviate off its natural path. Now, that is something you're going to have to learn. You're going to have to work out how far off its natural path it's going to move, and then you apply that on every shot from then on. So I'll show you how to start with this, and this first practice routine is a great reason why you actually want to play with side spin. So to start off with, I'm going to play the cue ball from here, and I'm going to play it straight into the pocket. Now I'm going to aim straight at the pocket with side spin. And just notice that the pace that I hit this with. So I'm going to hit between about 10 and 11 o'clock on the cue ball. So like 10:30. And I'm going to aim straight at the middle of the pocket. Now I want you to watch where the cue ball moves to, because that's going to be our reference point. So I'm aiming straight at the middle of the pocket. Now it went in about here, I would say, which is maybe 2 or 3 inches away from the middle of the pocket. So now we're going to try and pot a ball, but we're going to allow for those 2 or 3 inches of movement. So let me set this up and we'll get on it. Okay, so here we go with the first practice routine. I've set up this half ball cut on the yellow ball. It's our last ball, and we want to get onto the 8 ball. Now, to do that, we need to play with side. And I'm going to play this exact same way. I'm going to play 10:30 on the cue ball, or I'll put a graphic up there to let you know where I'm actually hitting it. I'm going to hit it about the same speed because I want the cue ball to hit off here and come down this way for the 8 ball in there. Now, importantly, when we hit it on the left-hand side, the cue ball is going to move away to the right. So I'm actually going to aim about 2 or 3 inches. I'm possibly going to aim for about this near knuckle here. That's where I'm aiming to hit. By the time the object ball gets to the pocket, I would hope that it's closer to the centre. So this is the shot to play to get us on the 8 ball. I'll give it a go just now. Without that boom slip, and we're on the 8 ball. Now what I want you to practice is try that shot 5 times. Now it's really important to play the same shot over and over and over again, because as I said, there's going to be variations as to how much the cue ball is pushed offline, depending on how hard you hit it and the distance, and we will cover them. But also, and this is what I wish I'd learned so many years ago, if I play that shot again, I'm learning that shot, how much the cue ball is thrown off. If you're trying to learn in a frame, you're not going to be faced with the same shot over and over and over again. So it's going to be harder to retain that information as to how far off the ball will roll. So what I would say is set up a half ball cut and play it 5 times. Now that's one day. I'm going to play it another 4, and then I'm going to show you the reason why you should play it this way. So let me set them up again. Okay, so this fun little routine that I've set up is to judge how many times you can finish this with and without side spin. So I've potted 1 in there. Let's assume that I was going to pot that 8 ball. So we've got another 4 to go. Let's see how we get on. And we're still doing with side spin. We're going to play every shot the same. What's that? We're on the 8 ball again. Let's see if we can pot it. Okay, same shot again. Let's assume that if I pot this and get on the 8 ball, you just give me it, because hopefully I wouldn't miss that 8 ball. So, are you giving me this one? Okay, we're 3 out of 3 so far, so 2 more to go. It's actually quite a simple little shot, and this is part of the reason I've set up this one. I don't want someone trying to play with side spin and then giving up. This is a fairly simple shot. Now, all we're doing is aiming to hit the yellow ball, probably about in that knuckle, and you're almost natural to get the cue ball over there. There we are again. See, we're consistently finding that same spot. Now, I'll have one more go. Hopefully we'll pot it and we'll get an 8 ball. And then the fun part, we'll try and finish this routine without side. And that should give a real indication as to why we should start playing with side spin. So, let's go. Nice iron again. Oh, perfect on it this time. So now let's have a go without side spin and see how many we can get out of 5. Okay, just before I play it without side spin, I just want to show that I don't have an angle to go all the way around the table. You know, if I try and screw this back, I'm probably getting the cue ball to about this position, which is going to end up getting me nowhere near that 8 ball. Don't have a good line at all. No. So I can get on it by going around the table. So let's try a different way. So 5 goes from here. I think the best position that I can get the cue ball is just with a little bit of topspin and putting it over there. I've hit that a little hard. If I got here, it's a shot that you'd maybe pop if you paid right there. But as it happens, I've left myself here, so let's see if we can finish it. No. So that's 0-1, and we've left our opponent an easy chance. So let's try again. I'm going to try the same shot again because I think I can get better position on it. I think it would be possible if I got there. That's better position. Judge that pace better. I've given myself a chance with this. Okay, 1 out of 2. That's not bad. Let's see if we can do it again. Well, we really underhit that. I don't think I'll be cutting it. I've also moved it a bit close to the... Let's give ourselves a chance. I probably wouldn't go for a cut. Would I go for a cut? Let's try something a bit fancier. Let's see if we can pot it in here. Oh, that would be good if the cue ball put it in there. That was rubbish. Okay, 1 out of 3. Let's try again. I'm going to try the same. I think that's my best chance of just giving myself a decent pot. That looks a little better. Let's try the cut. Yes. 2 out of 4. Let's see if we can get 3. Underhit that again. So we got 3 out of 5 doing it that way, and the 3 that I potted, it took really good pots on the 8 ball. And I don't know if you noticed as well, you actually have to be quite more precise with the positional shot there. You know, if we're aiming to get the cue ball on this cushion, if we're about that short, that leaves us an almost impossible shot. Whereas when we're playing it with side spin, we can cannon the red, which gets us on the black ball. We can leave it short, which leaves us in the black ball. We can hit it hard, which gets us in the black ball. So it actually gives us a much bigger margin for error. So that's the first routine. Now let's look at something where we vary the pace on the cue ball and see what difference that makes. Okay, so now we're going to play the exact same shot again. See, we're repeating the same shot so that we're learning this angle more and more, but we're going to have to hit it a lot harder this time because we want the cue ball to come off this cushion and actually split up the 8 ball by it's actually tied up. Now it's important to hit this quite hard because if you go into the soft, because of how they're positioned, you could end up snookering yourself. So we need to hit it hard enough that we break open the 8 ball and hopefully get on it. So we'll start the same way again. I'm going to hit about 10, 11 o'clock on the cue ball. I'm going to aim right in the centre of the pocket and I'm going to hit it quite hard just to get a frame of reference. That time it actually went really straight. So I'm going to aim pretty much at the centre of the pocket when I'm potting this one. So let me get the cue ball and we'll start playing this shot. Okay, so first go, aim about 10, 11 o'clock on the cue ball, and I'm actually going to aim pretty much as if I'm potting this yellow ball nice and loose with my grip. I'm going to have to hit this a bit harder. Yeah, perfect first time. Oh, is it? How unlucky is that? Oh well, I'd probably caught it off there. Probably. Okay, number 2. Let's see if we get a little luckier this time. Left ourselves a shot again. Let's try number 3. Still wouldn't say we've been given that a gimme shot, have we? Let's see if we can get it this time. People always like when I leave in the mistake, so that one's getting left in. Right, go number 4. Got it this time. Yeah, that's definitely possible. Although I'm not in that perfect on the 8 ball every time, the importance of this routine is to learn how much a cue ball is being thrown off. And what's important is that I've potted that yellow ball every time. Fingers crossed, one more to go. Let's see if we can do it. So we can do it far away. Last go, let's see if we're still get this. For it. Oh, that looks good. So, last routine now. Let's set them up. Okay, so last routine now, we're going to look at distance. So I've given myself a bit of a distance pot. And we're going to have to hit this one quite hard. So we're going to have to judge how the speed and the distance will throw the cue ball off its natural path. So I've set up an almost straight pot. Now we want to go round the angle, so follow through off this cushion, and try and get on the 8 ball in that pocket. Now, 2 things to bear in mind with this. If I hit this without side spin, the cue ball is going to take quite a narrow path. Might not be able to get around for the 8 ball. So we play it with a little bit of left-hand spin. So when it hits this second cushion, the cue ball springs out that way, which should give us an easier shot on the 8 ball. And even if we leave it here, the cue ball about here, we're going to have a pot on that 8 ball. So that's a big difference with playing with side spin. Because we're widening the angle, we're giving ourselves more chance of a pot of that if we do leave the cue ball short. But I actually just want to show something. In UK 8 ball, this is a really difficult shot because of how much topspin you're wanting to get on the ball, because the cue ball is a lot smaller and lighter in weight. If you've got a cue ball, which is the same size as object ball, which happens in every other cue sport, then this shot is actually a lot easier. You just sit round angles like that and we're perfect on it. So let me set these up and you'll see the difference when playing with this small cue ball. And just to give ourselves a reference point again, I'm going to try and pot the cue ball first. I'm going to play it about the speed that I need to hit it at, and I'm going to hit about 10, 11 o'clock. I'm aiming straight at the middle of the pocket. Now I hit it in that side of the pocket. So I'm going to allow myself about 2 millimeters. I'm going to aim to hit this. I'm going to aim to try and pot the yellow ball in about there, and hopefully by the time the cue ball reaches it, I'm getting a better contact in the pocket. So let me grab the cue ball for the final practice routine. Now this is the one that you might get quite a laugh at, because this is a bit tricky, this shot. Oh, we've had a well first spike. Wow. So we left ourselves a pot on it. I didn't think I'd be able to get the cue ball there. This is the other thing about the smaller white. I don't know if you noticed. It's almost a straight shot, but because the cue ball is smaller than the object ball, when you're playing topspin on it, it kind of jumps. It actually really widened the angle of the cue ball. I think the cue ball hit about here on the first cushion. So that shows you how much impact that smaller cue ball has. So we're 1 for 1. Let's keep going. I'm leaving it in. I actually took a lot of pace off of that because of the last one that I hit, and I ended up hitting it dead straight. But we'll leave it in and we'll try again. Right, I'm going to hit this one a wee bit harder so I don't do that again. Perfect. Perfect. That's exactly how I want to hit it. That cue ball ran through really well. It hit about there, which is how you should hit this shot. And because of the side spin, it actually widens the angle off the first cushion. So it hits here. If you didn't have side spin on it, your cue ball's probably bouncing to here. Because I had side spin, you maybe hit it there. But it's really important with side spin, it takes more side off the second cushion. So I'm widened up to this angle here and I'm perfect on the black ball. So 2 more, let's go. And I need to chalk my cue because playing these types of shots, top tip for you, is going to take a lot of chalk off your cue. We're on a roll. Oh. I'll take it. So that one, I did take some of the power off it, and you can see when you do that, it's not bouncing off the object ball, so it's actually traveling through in quite a straight line. I would prefer the cue ball to be thrown off a bit more, so I'll put a bit more pace on this last shot. Yeah. You can see how much difference I've moved the cue ball in all those shots. You know, some of them, I potted the cue ball, one of them's come right down here, one of them I've managed to get there. That one actually hit the cushion there, but I ended up perfect in lay ball. So there's your 3 routines. They're actually really fun, so give them a try. And if you haven't watched that first video, then I've linked it on screen right now. Thanks.